Hi, beautiful people. I hope y'all are having a beautiful life. Excuse me, I'm eating a now later. Y'all remember now laters? I love pineapple. Excuse me for my snacking. That's how I eat too. Like the apple, green apple. I think I used to like grape too. Yeah, grape. And I think they had a tangerine or a mandarin at one point. I don't like orange. I don't really like orange candy at all. Excuse me. But anyway, all right. I got on here to have a therapy session with you guys with the word no. 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 No, thank you. No. 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 Okay? So, and the things that I am saying, I'm teaching you is the things that I've already went through. Okay? So I use my expertise by my own life experiences to show you how I overcame things, to teach you how to start or take the next step or take a step in evolving yourself, making yourself stronger. So, first off, if there is something that you do not want to do, it is okay to tell people no. I know it is very hard to say no. I know that people's feelings get hurt or they get bothered. You ever ask yourself why people get pissed off at you when you say no? Let me tell you. Because you have been giving over yourself, denying yourself, excuse me, what you really want for yourself, what you really want to say, and you just been giving your power to them. So you just imagine if someone says, hey, I want you to, barbecue for the family, but you really don't want to do it, like with everything in you, and and because you've been a yes woman or a yes man, the expectation is for you to say yes. The moment you say no, people gonna think you acting funny. They're gonna feel some type of way. They're gonna get mad at you. You're gonna get the evil eye, the rolling the eyes, the talking behind your back, all kind of shit. Because you've been giving your power over freely to them by doing what they want you to do to appease them, opposed to what appeases you. Okay? First, what I want you to do, the next time someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do, we're going to take baby steps, because I know some of y'all are very family oriented, a little bit codependent. Some of y'all are a lot codependent, right? And y'all have been used of this way and not being independent and seeing what you want for yourself and what makes you happy, what you want to do, and you just do it even though you don't want to. So that's going to be like the growth step, because I know that's a baby step. But I want you to tell one person who you normally don't tell. It doesn't have to be the closest person to you, because again, baby steps. I want you to tell them no. Yeah. I want you to tell them no with something that you're usually used to saying yes to. Let's just say you're married. Your wife or your husband makes you something to eat, and they know how much you love a particular item on your plate, right? And normally you will say yes, right? But then today you just really didn't want it, right? And they say, hey, baby, you want the sweet potatoes on your on the side, and you say no because you always say yes. But today you really just didn't want it. Say no. That's gonna make your husband or your wife be like, you okay? Right? Because they know that's your favorite, right? It's a practice, right? But if you really don't want it, and if you do want it, and you want to learn how to begin to say no, just say no. No, thank you. No, baby, I don't want any. Not today, no. Okay? Start with baby steps, and then as you progress, just start saying no to a lot of shit. Just say no to a lot of shit, even if you really want to say yes. Because what I'm trying to teach you is getting comfortable in the word no to people, telling people no, and not allowing them to project their behaviors, their what they feel like is rejection. I want to teach you how to not allow people to project their behaviors and what they want, their expectation of you, to block that, so that they can get comfortable and you're not a yes woman or a yes man anymore the way you used to be. You want to grow. Excuse me. You know? So if, let's say, if you have a child and you spoil your child, which is not good. I promise y'all, I did it to my child. It's not good. Um, and you're used to going in the store, and if your child, has a temper tantrum because you always telling them yes, they want, mommy, daddy, can I have this? Okay, go ahead and get it. Yes, 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 yes. But today, I want you to tell your child no. They're going to have a fit. They're going to cut the fuck up. They're going to act like you done killed them, you abusive, you done destroyed their entire life, especially if they little. But I want you to be, because it's a child, I want you to be firm with your no. Mommy, can I have this toy? No. They're going to cry. I want the toy. No. Every time you say no, get firmer. Okay? And then they're going to cut up on the floor. This is where you put your mommy and your daddy pants on. I said no. Get up off the floor right now. Right now. Firmness. No, no, no. I said you cannot have that. No. Grab them by the hand. And if you have to walk out the store and leave your groceries there for the moment, to get them together in the car or wherever, and let them know you do not behave like that in the store. When I tell you no, I mean no. I give you a lot of things that you want. Every time you come in the store, you're wanting something. I'm always telling you yes. And today, I'm telling you no. Do you understand me? Okay? And you have to continue that, because you've created a pattern for your child to know that anytime they go to the store with mommy or dad's going to get them something no matter what. What's going to happen when you don't have the money or you lose your job? You see what I'm saying? It's better to start the no's now while they're younger, so that they can get in the pattern of what no means. Because when they grow up, they're going to expect the world to tell them yes. Because you as a parent always say yes to everything. Yes, baby, yes. Because you just love them so much, you want to spoil them. But too much love is just overly too much. Just like too much anger is too much kindness is too much. You have to balance your no's and your yeses. You have to balance them, because you're creating an entitled child. And everybody in the world is not going to tell your child yes. And then that's going to trigger a behavior in an adult who's going to want revenge or be evil towards somebody because that person said no, and they're not used to saying no, hearing no. You're going to create a monster. And then eventually some children who grow up as adults who always got yes from their family and friends and parents, they'll go out there and steal, and stealing sometimes become killing, because they want what they want. They're going to get it at all means necessary. So you have to balance your yeses and your nos out. And it's best for you to start, especially when your child is young, start now. That's why in the word, I don't know if you're a person that reads the word, it says, spoil the child, spare the rod, spare the rod, spoil the child. So basically, are you going to spoil your child? Are you going to spare the rod? No. You know, nowadays nobody wants you whipping your kids. You do what you gotta do when you eat your house. Fuck these people, because children need discipline. I ain't saying beat your child now. I'm saying if you gotta spank them on the butt with your hand or a belt, do it. You know, if you gotta make them hold their hand out and spank them on the hand, do it. If you gotta go make them sit in the corner until they think about what they've done and change their behavior, do that. But don't let society tell you how to raise your children. Now, don't abuse them, because now you're causing more issues. You call them mental health issues later on in life. Okay? Don't abuse your child. The child does need love, and you should not take your anger out on your child when you're angry at them. But when you get to a balanced place, so they go that balance again, that calmness and a little bit of anger, so you can put a little firm bass in your voice. And you know, if you got to spank them, take a moment, tell them to go to their room and calm down. Calm down, and then give them that ass whipping. But don't whip them when you mad, because then you're going to end up hurting them or hitting them in the wrong place because you was pissed off. So we need to take deep breaths, right? And I had to learn this, you know, now I'm older, but I used to spank my child, but not a lot. He rarely got ass whooping. Rarely. Shit. I'm trying to think when he got one, being honest. I used to do more fussing and firmness with him. Some people might say, oh, you a little verbally abusive. No. Me being a mama, raising a son, I had to buck sometimes, you ball up in the fist. I had to let my hood out. Like, you better unball them damn fists. Where the fist gonna go? Who, on me? I had to be that kind of mama, but sometimes different children need different things. Don't let anybody tell you how to raise your child. But we're talking about the word no. This part is important, not telling you how to raise your child, but I promise you, it'll help your child in the long run, and it'll help your child, it'll help you. But no. Okay. So we're off the children thing. Now, adults. As you go on your daily life, let's just say you're at work and you're always the one who's picking up hours because your boss asks you, oh, can you do this? Can you do it? Can you stay over? And you always, yes. Now you done made your boss them feel like, oh, they'll do it. Now you done became somewhat of a pushover because there's an expectation that you're going to always say yes, because you always do, right? I want you to tell them no. Even if you will say yes, even if you want to say yes, because you have gotten in a pattern that you're not aware that you've gotten that pattern, and now you've given people an expectation of you to be whoever they want you to be and need to be. I want you to tell your boss no. And if you're face to face, just observe their face. And it'll tell on their face how much you've given your power over to them. How much you've been a yes person. They might have to they might have to process that because they not used to that. And then you may have some bosses that be like, well, why? And it's like, what you mean? Well, why? Because now you've planted a seed that's growing in people's mind because you've been a yes woman and yes man. We need to change the way they view you so that we can take some of that burden off of you. So when you go home, you won't have to complain to your husband or your wife or your family and your friends to go, my boss does not appreciate me. They're always asking me to do something and I'm always saying yes, and I didn't get a raise. Well, that's not the boss' fault. That's your fault. Nobody told you to be a yes woman or yes man, right? But we can't change it. And we don't have to give them an excuse of why we saying no. And I know that'll be hard for some of y'all because it's new, right? You may say, no, I can't do it. And then they might say, well, why? And you may feel the need to explain why. Well, because most of y'all gonna make up a lie, right? Because you have to make yourself feel better about telling them no, because now you feel like shit and you want to appease them. So you don't, instead of you saying, no because I don't want to, you're going to just make up, well, me and Bob or me and whomever going to dancing tonight. Which is a lie, right? But we shouldn't have to do that in life. We should not have to make up an excuse or a lie to make someone else feel comfortable about our nose. You understand? You understand? Do you understand? Understand what I'm saying? If you want to be real bold with it, just, they ask you to work. No. Well, why? Well, because I don't want to. And their face is going to be like floored. They're going to try to play it out, but look, make sure you look at their face. Because I want you to see what you created. I want you to see the disappointment in what they felt like you was going to say. So you could see the monster you've created in people because you've been a yes woman, a yes man, and letting people trample all over you, step on you because you don't want to hurt their feelings and you want to be the good guy and the good girl. Everybody has bad in them, honey. And you don't have nothing to prove to nobody about you being a good person or not. If the people can't see you that you're a good person on your bad days, your good days, fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Seriously. Fuck them. Because most of them bad on they bad and their good days. But they want you to be the one that's going to be the light, the good one, all the time. Fuck them. Tell them no. Well, okay, well, if you can't do it this week, can you maybe, I have somewhere to go and such is going to be taken off. And these telling you this shit, asking you this shit at the last minute, like the fuck you supposed to say. Tell them no. Say, no, I think I'm going to just kind of stick with my schedule for now. If I, have some free time or if I choose to do it or I want to do it, I'll let you know. But for right now, no, I'm just going to stick with my regular schedule that I've been, sticking with. And if you're not comfortable with just saying that, say, because, I've been doing a lot. I've been, taking on a lot of shifts and, being here. So I just really want to take some time to myself, for myself. And this is where I'm at. I've been overworking myself. So I'm going to give myself some self-care and self-love. And I'm going to say no. All right. Thank you. Could be nice, nasty. Thank you. Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted from me? Okay, cool. You have an awesome day. Amazing day. Right? But you're still saying no. You can say no all kinds of ways. No, I'm not going to do it this time. No. If you're scared to be that, no. You see what I'm saying? Just make sure you say no. If your husband or your wife want to get it on and you just truly don't feel like it, but you always being submissive and you always, giving it up because you feel in your mind, well, that is my husband, that's my wife. It's not really all about your husband and wife all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about you and it's about them and it's about them with them and it's about you with you and then y'all come together, right? So if you don't want to do it just because he or she wants to do it and you don't want to, just tell them not tonight. No. And if you're used to saying yes all the time, they're going to feel some type of way. They're going to be like, the next day, they're going to be weird. They're going to be like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Are you sure? Yes. Why do you ask? Well, what? I mean, because, last night. Okay, what about last night? Well, I wanted to make love, get it on, whatever, I wanted to be passionate with you at whatever their terminology is. And you told me no. Yeah, because I didn't want to do it. I didn't feel like it. But you always say yes. I know I always say yes, right? And I'm learning self-care. I'm learning to stand in my power and stop doing what everyone else wants me to do. It doesn't mean that I love you any less. It's just that I'm tired. I'm whatever. Or I just didn't want to do it. Doesn't mean that me telling you no, that I didn't want to be intimate means I don't love you. And it doesn't mean that I'm not attracted to you. It means that no was my no because that's not what I wanted to do last night. Okay, baby? Okay. You've created a spoiled brat with your husband or your wife because you've given into them so much that you've given it expectations, that expectation, that seed that you keep planting in people's mind. When you don't want to do something, you do it anyway. When you really want to say no. Your friends call you, girl, we going out. You always going to the club. Every time they call, you ready, you going. But you really just like kind of want to be a little introvert for a while. You want to just like cut your damn phone off. Don't speak to nobody, take you some me time. Get in your car, take a trip, go on an adventure. And you don't want nobody to know about what you're doing because you want to do what you want to do because you're your own independent person and you can say yes and no when you want to, right? Right? Wrong to them. You gonna be acting weird. You acting different. Why they ain't answering their phone? We need to do a what is called welfare check on them. We need to go check on them. So make sure before you just cut everybody, make sure you just tell them, I'm gonna take some me time. Everything's fine. I'm gonna take me some me time. That way it can cut that part off with them constantly projecting themselves in your life to make you do something that you don't want to do. Maybe you tired. Then they're gonna think you're depressed. Oh, you've been up in your house, you ain't been talking, and you must be depressed. No, I'm not depressed. I just want to lay down. I want to look at me some movies, get me some popcorn, and laugh at some comedy. Or I wanted to go take a road trip by myself to clear my mind. Do I have to explain everything? You know what I mean? So next time your friends ask you to go to the club and you really don't want to do it, tell them no. Girl, no, I ain't going out tonight, honey. Oh, fella, my nigga, I'm not going out. I'm good. I'm chilling at home. You feel me? However you do that. Bruh, for real, you ain't going out, man. The ladies out there, man, we going to do this. We going to get some women. Right? They got some bad. Right? And normally you be the guy who be like, what? Sheree gonna be there? Real? Man, I've been trying to hit that. But maybe you done got on some grown man shit. You don't even want to do all that. Maybe you ready for a good relationship instead of going out there messing with hoes, right? Hanging with your boys, talking about women behind their back, talking about how you could put it in there and I'm gonna hit that, right? Or maybe you a hoe woman, whatever you are. Maybe you just somebody who like to go party. But today you didn't want to do any of that shit. No, bro, I'm not going. Girl, I'm gonna catch y'all next time. I'm chilling at home. I'm good. I'm taking some time to myself. Or a whole woman, Nah, girl, Them niggas, not today. Or them women, whatever you like, your preference, whatever. Nah, I'm good. You sure? You ain't going out. Girl, I'm about to come over there and I'm gonna help you find something. You getting up out that bed but you going out every week. Every week, but you just don't want to do it this time, and it's a big deal. You have created expectations for people. Okay? So we're going to practice the word no. I want you to do no at least once a week. If that's too much for you, let's start with once every 2 weeks. If that's still too much for you, once every 3 weeks. If that's too much, once a month. At least once a month. At least once a month. Because you have to get in the rhythm of the word no. Shit, if you got to go on the mountaintop first and scream, no, before you start no's to people, get comfortable in it. You're going to be better for it. You're going to see the stress and all of that stuff that you have accumulated with giving people your power, with saying yes all the time. You're going to be calling your power back to you by saying the word no. And don't let them sway you, because people will try to sway you. They'll try to, like I say, try to make you feel bad. Even your children. Stick with it. Even with your child, before you go in the store and you know you're not gonna, you're not gonna get anything, or even before you leave, if you're married and your husband or your wife is there and your child wants to go with you, you let them know so it won't be a problem. You can go with me, but before we leave this house, I want you to know I'm not buying you anything. Now, if that's a problem for you, then you can stay home with dad or mom. Okay? Because you're not going to go to the store with me just because you want something. If you want to go with me to be with me, you can go. But do not ask for anything, because I'm going to tell you in advance the answer is no. Do you understand? And then make them repeat it back so you can make sure that they comprehended what you said. Now, what did I just say? If I go to the store with you, you're going to say no if I ask for something. That's absolutely correct. Now, do you still want to go with me, knowing that I'm not going to buy you anything? Okay? With the kids, you have to make sure that you make them repeat back what you are saying so you can know that they understand. You can't always expect the child to know what you're saying. Make sure that children comprehend what you're actually saying to them. That way, you're holding them accountable for what you said, because they reiterated back. So there's no, I didn't understand. You knew what I said because you told me back and you said you understood. So there should not be any issues. Now, as you grow along, and let's say you're a person that's codependent to family. Y'all do everything together under the sun. You got to go ask them what color panties or underwear you wear. But y'all need to grow from that. That's a whole nother subject and topic. We're not going to get into that today. You need to break that. That's not healthy. You're an independent person. When you pass away for you, not for your family. You're going to be judged for what you've done. Okay? You have to live your life. Don't pass away and be like, out of all my life, all I ever did was make sure my family was good. Oh, don't do that pity party shit, because you have the responsibility and words, power to say, I don't want to do it. Okay? So that's why we're doing this now, this exercise, this therapy session, to get you comfortable in saying no. Okay? And when your family come to you and they want to know why you acting funny and no, what you mean no? Just let them know. I'm always saying yes. But honestly, sometimes I don't want to do it. Let them talk about you behind your back, because I'm quite sure they already do. Even when you was a yes woman or yes man, right? Excuse me. Let them do it. Who cares? At the end of the day, you're going to feel better after you get comfortable in saying no to your family, friends, whomever, bosses, children, husband, wife. And you're going to feel that pressure is off of you. People start stabbing you in the back and doing all that just show you that you don't need them people in your life. They'll show you their true colors. And that's God's way of showing you, this is why you should have always said no, or this is why you need to say no. Because when you've now said no, when you've always said yes, look how these people are treating you. You need to leave them alone. I don't give a fuck if it's your family or your friends or your co-worker, whom the fuck ever. Leave them be. Let them sit with their own shit. They ain't got nothing to do with you. All right. I hope this helps somebody. I hope this is teaching someone something. How to call your power back and get that good old powerful word. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. You feel what I'm saying? Call your power back. All right. I love you, beautiful people.